It's been a while since I have done my live. So when was you last time here?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, right? Hi everyone, so good to see you. Thank you for joining this afternoon. This is Thursday, right? Hi. We are now. So I brought Sherry back because do you know how many people asked me if we are single or not?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was actually that's a surprise.
Really? Actually, I have so many people coming asking, is Sherry single? I was like, yeah, she is. And then, so we need to do some kind of auditioning. I have to. So today we are going to talk, of course, answer your questions, and very thankful for Sherry to come on the show. As you know, guys, Sherry also has her YouTube channel. It's called, what is it called?
Sherry from North Korea.
Awesome. And you are on Instagram, no?
Yeah. Sherry Yang.
Sherry Yang. Okay. I will put those links below too. But I know it must be boring just hearing me out all the time.
I don't think so.
So I hope I bring Sherry today. She has a very interesting life than I did because you were relatively in a high class. You're even picked by the regime to going to pleasure squad, and you experienced really many lives. I think it'd be really interesting for people to ask you questions as well. But today I think there's really no topic here to thank you and engage with you, so don't be shy. You guys can ask any questions. So somebody B16JC asked, do you watch any sports? Do you watch any sports?
I used to watch basketball.
Yeah. In here or in
In
North
here,
Korea?
in
here. So did you ever go to sports games in North Korea, going like soccer games or?
No.
So in North Korea, that's the thing. There's really no culture. Like we don't go to symphony. We don't go to opera. We don't go to musical.
We don't have it actually.
We don't have any of those.
Our life is too simple.
Other than going to collective work, like 인민동원, like the collective work. That's all we had, and this is where maybe today we can talk about even art. I know, Shirley, you are very artistic.
Oh, really?
You are, and I love all your like videos and how your picture you take. Did you? So in North Korea, we don't even know the design, right? Like they say web designing, fashion design, right? None of those things. What do you think that? Do you think we need art?
We do have like my hometown is Haeryong City, right? As you know, and there's 학생공전.
Oh,
like
yeah, the children's palace.
Palace is in Pyongyang. There's a Mangyongdae 학생소년공전, right? And then the scale is smaller than that, but also we have in Haeryong City because it's Kim Jong Un's mother, the founder of Kim Il Sung's founder of North Korea's Kim Il Sung's wife's hometown. So therefore we do have many kinds of like student palace, and then that's my sister actually went there.
But like, isn't it over there though? It's like everything you learn is a propaganda though. You don't sing like classical Beethoven. You don't.
That's the thing. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I know that they are all like the propaganda, those performances. But it is all like propaganda. It's not about going to symphony.
Right.
Or like watching a musical, right?
Yeah.
And I think I only recently started appreciating art, but it took a while for me to appreciate art. Now, do you appreciate art?
Appreciate what?
Like, do you like going to museum and looking at the art, paintings?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, for me, it was in the beginning. I went to this thing called the MoMA in New York, the Modern Art Museum. And I thought literally it was a joke. I'm so sorry. I'm sure a lot of art lovers not gonna like this, but from North Korea, it's like, what the heck are you doing here in these boxes, right? What do I supposed to look at? What supposed do I feel? And this is the thing, like when you're starving in North Korea, you don't think about the meaning of life, right? There's no philosophy that teach you, like, you know, what is the point of life, how should a person live their life. And being in America, there's so many things, that so much, like, you know, space you can think about art and like philosophy. And anyway, so this is a Brent. Hey Brent. Hi friends. She's someone who wants to get involved in volunteer work for Defectors to learn Korean. Also, I'm excited to talk to you tomorrow, Yeonmi. Thank you, Brent. So Brent is my Patreon. So guys, if you guys join my Patreon, you get to talk to me on Google Hangouts, which means you have to show me your face and talk. I really prefer that actually over me talking all the time. Anyway, so to learn Korean, I mean, depends on what kind of volunteering work do you want to do. There are a lot of volunteers that in South Korea, at least the foreigners in South Korea, they don't have to, because you just become a English teacher to defectors. Did you have any help from volunteers who taught you English when you were in South Korea?
Yeah, actually I had involved TNKR, now ifDPRK. So there were lots of volunteers teaching English to North Korean defectors.
Yeah, I mean, I had 11 teachers, guys. I'm thankful for all my English teachers. And yeah, even that's the thing, helping North Korea people doesn't have to be material things. It can be as simple as, you know, even just talk to them, because talking to them in English conversation is very helpful for them to learn. So you don't have to learn Korean, you don't have to do something so drastic to help other people. Sometimes helping other people takes asking them how are you. I think that's, you know, helping others doesn't take that much. So, and like you guys even joining here today, it does help us, right? Without you, I would not have this platform. I cannot speak out. So even joining today, my lifetime, you are helping us immensely. So we thank you for your time and love. So Eric, what do North Korean natives think of more Putin? Do labelers still sometimes go up there? So that in a Vice documentary from a while ago. Yeah. So it was a huge thing. One of the revenue streams for Kim Jong Un, how the Kim Jong Un makes money, is selling missiles to and the nuclear strategy to Iran, Syria, or other Middle Eastern countries. Second is producing crystal meth, a lot of drugs, and selling it to the world. Third is like counterfeiting US dollars. And they don't do good stuff. And another revenue stream for Kim Jong Un is selling his own people. He sends these forced laborers to go to Siberia, Africa, to build statues for the dictators in Africa. And some people go to Siberia to work there. And these people are not free. They have to in the camps. And even though for that, though, you know, North Koreans dying to go out, right? When you go work in this cutting the woods and like manual labor, you at least get fed.
Right.
You at least get fed. That's why these people are dying to go those like manual labor works. And what did you hear about Putin when you were in North Korea?
Putin.
Like the president of Russia right now. Or like
when
modern Russia. Did you
modern Russia, Soviet Union.
No. So I think in North Korea, I did not learn. I didn't go to school, but you went. Did they teach you about Russia or like Soviet, like the Soviet Union?
When I taught Soviet Union.
So they don't teach you even the word Russia. They tell you Soviet.
Soviet.
They only teach North Koreans that this is Soviet Union. Do they tell that they fair? Does socialism fair in Soviet
I don't really
Union?
remember. I thought about I think not specifically they taught us in school, but I on news there's I just remember, but not in detail actually.
Oh, so on the TV news though, there's slightly mentioning of that Soviet Union fair.
So Kim Jong Il, so we need to build our country or our
Stronger. Right, I remember like let's defend our socialism, right? Like we are the only country that holds the revolutionary flag right now.
Exactly.
So it's our job to free the humanity from evil capitalists. And like you know, like the songs like 사회주의 기자 is like the let's guard our socialism and all those like songs blasting. I remember as a kid. Oh, so they I mean that's the education. So Natalie, I am such a big fan of your work and activism. Is there any way you can get those of us that want to help your people by connecting with them through email or regular mail? So this is the thing. North Koreans, even after the escape, guys, we are not really free because we have left our loved ones back in North Korea. So North Korean regime go after the family, like this thing I told about, like guilty by association, right? 3-generation punishment. And also there are some spies that North Korea plants among the defectors, and then they also do commit some assassins and kidnapping defectors. Therefore, a lot of defectors are very private. They don't want to even take a picture and show them online. And they change their name. They don't tell you where they're from. They don't even show their face on the like even Instagram or Facebook. And it is really sad that North Koreans still have tied their identity for safety even after they escape. But there are organizations like that are based in South Korea that can connect you, and you can talk to them, you can mentor them. There are non-profits. So if you look up the video that I made in this channel called How to Help North Koreans, I give you all the steps, and the NGO links is below. So you can check them out and see which cause do you want to get involved and help out. Thank you so much for that thoughtful question, Natalie. Wow, we missed a lot of questions. Okay. Here, Yakov, Yeonmi, what does your mom do on average day? You mean back in North Korea or in South Korea? Because they are very dramatically different. What you do in South Korea or North Korea is unbelievably different. So anyway, let's see. Okay, there's a lot of Russia-related questions. So BBC report North Korea being banned from the. So somebody was asking, did you see the BBC report on North Korea being banned from the Olympics? Usually North Korea do participate in Olympics until this year because of the pandemic. But did you hear that? Like, was that true? Right? Like when in North Korea, if they show us the game that North Korean groups play, they edit it and then show us that our team won. They never show us the part that where our team lost.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It's like, guys, so if you watch a soccer game in North Korea, like we have no clue what's going on, and they're like, our team won now, and then so basically they go edit it, the part that the bad guys, like what they say enemy group wins, that you cut that out, and then even the North Korean team lose, they say we won. So everything on TV is like happy, amazing victory, lose. Every day we achieve some new victory. I remember everything is about victory, winning.
So they only show us what they like won, right?
Yeah. And also there are some cases if you lose in the international games, guys. They literally punish you. They send you prison camp. So imagine as being an athlete, and you go and lose. Then you get punished for that. And the nutrition of North Korean athletes are so low, they are not even getting fed. And in that situation, one time when the North Korean athletes were playing the international game, they didn't even have a uniform and shoes. So some other group like lent them shoes and uniform and didn't fit their shoe size. And they're the fall underground. And then when they lose it, when they go back, they get punished. It's like an unbelievable, horrible country this thing is. So Eric again, so thanks for answer related to North Koreans know anything about sea? Seems like external country North Koreans know most about is China. Is that true? So yeah, that is true that we know mostly about China. Did you know about Xi Jinping when you were in North Korea?
When was it? I actually
You escaped in the before Xi Jinping.
before Xi Jinping, after Xi Jinping.
No, before. So what was the guy who was in charge when you were in North Korea in China?
Who before Xi Jinping? Who
It's like we were saying his names. I remember.
I forgot his name.
But did you know what did you know about him?
When I was in North Korea,
You just knew the name of him.
Yeah, that's all. So actually, in North Korea, like here's the thing, like we only have one TV channel, and then it's all about the worship the Kim regime and propaganda. So how we gonna learn about like outside of North Korea?
No, so for me it's like I knew China was a country. I did not know what Africa was. I did not know anything, but I knew China was a country. And I knew they had a leader. And then did not know about free markets, how big China was. I never even ate Chinese food in North Korea. Like, I mean, is there a Chinese restaurant in North Korea?
Chinese restaurant actually we don't, because North Korea is the communism country and everything is owned by the government states. So, but in Haeryong we actually had a restaurant, but most of 60% was Chinese.
Owned.
Oh, I mean not owned, like customer.
Oh, Chinese
customers.
Because North Koreans are so poor, we cannot afford to go eat outside. Most of us.
60% and 40% rest the soldiers who worked on the border.
Oh,
they actually earn money, right?
Right. So this is the thing. So in North Korea, the fanciest dining that I've ever had was, guys, going to the black market. They sell these noodles. Like nongmaguksu is like the glass, very, very hot noodle in the winter time. You like squat on the ground on the mud and then you eat as soon as possible. That was like the biggest treat that you can get, right? But there are restaurants where you actually go and sit on the floor and have a table. Those restaurants most people cannot afford in North Korea. So 60% of customers are Chinese tourists, and then 40% are the border guards. Because these border guards they get a lot of bribes from smugglers.
Right.
So they are rich. So those people can afford to go to North Korean restaurants. But this is the thing. When I wake up in the morning, sometimes like when I get a hangover, I stopped drinking, by the way, but I only started drinking last year. And then I just wanted to try it out, and then my body did not like alcohol as much as I thought. But when I hungover, I was like, I feel like I'm eating some pho. And then you just hit few buttons on Uber Eats. It literally delivers a pho in the middle of the morning to your door. I mean, like some Vietnamese person, whoever is making that and giving it to the door. I mean, if this is not paradise, if this is not a miracle, then what it is?
Right.
I don't get it. So in North Korea, I never even know what Vietnamese food was.
Right.
There's no like foreign restaurants. Anyway, so we answered that question. So Thomas, thank you so much. Hi, Queens of the North, Yeonmi and Sherry. Eventually, some of your people will see this clip. What would you like to say to them? Yes, North Koreans do watch this channel because I talk to them. But not the ones in North Korea because they don't have internet. But do you know, guys, North Korea officials who get a legal permit and using a North Korean DPRK passport to work in Middle East, in Europe, in China, Russia, they watch this channel. And there's an investigation team that Kim Jong Un set up to just watch my channel only. Because I'm the first North Korean guys gotten this many followers. So Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi journalist who got like chopped into pieces in the Turkey Saudi consulate, right? The reason why he got killed, assassin like that, is because he had like over 1 million following on Twitter. He had a platform to talk about the Saudi prince, and that's why he got killed. And yeah, when I talk to the intelligence people, like North Korea is like just they don't know what to do with me. Nobody has been like this much been like in public, so for now, they are just making sure watching every video that we make here, and thinking about what to do. But in a way, it's you know, even if they care me, I mean, you guys know me, that you know my story. So at this point, I think my job has been done. So it doesn't really scare me. But if what I want to tell them if they watch it, I think so. This time, guys, I went to do this thing with Dennis Prager in the Prager University, the videos. So they say, so in Cuba they got like 99% literacy rate. North Korea too. North Korea got very high, literacy.
Literacy.
It's like reading.
Reading.
Most people know how to
literacy.
read. In China, a lot of people don't know how to read, right? So they say, oh, in communist countries they got free healthcare, and in North Korea too, like they do have a high literacy rate, and that's why they say, oh, that's why capitalism is bad and socialism is better. And why doesn't dictators make you read? It's because they want to brainwash you. So you can literally like read the scripture of the party. And I think that's the thing, like if these officials are watching it, I hope, even though in capitalism they might struggle more than being in that society where they have the high class, but being free is so worth it. So if they watch it, I hope they take their chance and escape for freedom. And I mean, if you lived once, why would you not want to live as a free person? So I really hope that all the officials escape and stop supporting the regime. So what about you, Sherry? I want to ask you, if you get to talk to North Korean people, what would you tell them?
I want to tell them, like, learn the truth through your channel or my channel, because we are all deceived by the dictator, right? We don't even know what's the freedom and what's human dignity. So I hope they learn the truth through our channel and tearing down the Hermit Kingdom by on their hands, and find the freedom. That's my wish, my hope.
And I think the change gotta come within, right? North Korean people gotta decide that they want freedom. They have to fight for it. I think that's the only stable way of getting there. So, so how to say MANNE? So can you read Chinese writing system? Do you understand written Chinese? Can you read a Korean that is written in Chinese characters? That is Hanja in Korea, Hanzi, yeah. I can read Chinese character. Not all of them. I mean, like, there's an unlimited number of Chinese characters. So in China, if you know around 4,000, you're like high middle school. You have no problem getting around. If you know 10,000 Chinese characters, you're like university level of intelligence and you can comprehend that much. But if you know more than 10,000, you gotta be a very, very high scholarly person. So I was able to reach around 3,000 Chinese characters when I was studying Chinese. But of course, a lot of them I have lost now. And do you speak Chinese, Sherry?
Yeah, of course, used to.
You live in China?
I lived. I had lived there for 3.5 years.
Oh, wow, longer than I did. Wow, I mean, we have to talk about that someday. So, Melara, I mistook Sherry for Evelyn. Sherry and me, your favorite part of living in America so far. Oh, thank you. I know Evelyn. Maybe I will Evelyn too, guys. So it's so funny. A lot of North Korean women are in Chicago. Do you know? Like they are all our age, all like in their like 20s, early 30s, and all very young. And a lot of them are single. And somehow they come to Chicago for some reason. But so what's the favorite part of living in America so far, Sherry?
Favorite part, it's freedom.
Aww.
Freedom you have. So freedom of movement, freedom of speech. I don't need to worry about like my tongues. Like even if I talk about U.S. presidents, nobody. I don't need to worry about being arrested, right? That's and favorite part of living, but favorite part is the region or
no, the part. Favorite part is like a 좋은 점.
좋은 점. Yeah, that's just freedom is like it's a privilege to have.
So here's the thing. So when I came to America, guys, that's when Trump just became president. And I was visiting, but I was moved here in 2016 January for Columbia University. And then I just couldn't believe it. Every single day I open the news, people like just criticize their president in unbelievable manner. So as a North Korean, like we never thought that was a possibility that you can criticize your own president, right? And it still shocks me someday, like, oh my god, I guess this is real freedom. Looks like you can criticize anybody. But though now, even though that's what we thought amazing about America, that you can have your own opinions and it's okay to express them in public. But do you not hear those things, Sherry, where it's like a politically correct, that you have to be inclusive in your speech, or like there's a speech code? Do you know those things or no?
I've heard, but I'm not really.
So there are certain things now, if you say on YouTube or Twitter or like that, you can get censored. What do you think about that? Like in America now, there is especially on the left, in politicians or like in the people who are left-leaning people, there is a phrase they say is called "there is no room for hate speech." So hate speech is a very vague thing.
So as a North Korean, like I believe it's like as a human beings we have to polite each other. We have to respect people. But the thing is, if legally it's a make you like there's a room hate speech, it's illegally how can I say it?
It's like cancel that speech.
Cancel the speech. Yeah. Actually, I don't think that's right.
Does that like scare you? Do you think?
I'm actually scared of like losing our freedom.
In America.
That's my concern, because as a person who lived in the dictatorship, like you can criticize everybody. It's a privilege actually. I want to get like a respect from others, right? Yeah. Some words, you can kill people, get hurt by that, but that's we have to, as a human being, everyone we need to care for that when we criticize someone. But legally it's a cancer hate speech. It's I don't think that's right thing.
Yeah, I mean, to me is that, I mean, there are murderers. They are actual rapists. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's in a perfect world that everybody is reasonable, everybody is kind. But it's okay when there are people who are not respectful, right? And I just don't know why this hypersensitivity in American culture, where they really, really want you to speak the way they want you to speak, right? Like, now we are Asian, we can say like, oh, Asians are crazy. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Of course not, it's not. But I mean, it should be okay to make the joke, and that's a point of comment. It's okay to have a freedom of speech. But imagine if I were white or black and said that, right? Then they think that's a racism and that's a hate speech. I mean, this thing is so incredibly dumb, and also how they don't take this seriously, right? Today they might ban you to speak certain things, and tomorrow they're gonna go after this and go after this. And one thing about freedom is that once you lost, you're never going to restore it back, unless you fight with your blood and fight for revolution. And seeing America, how they are just so easily giving up their freedom, it's unbelievable, really. So the Hypone, is that how I say your name? So I wrote a song about your story entitled Yeonmi Park Escape in North Korea that is releasing on Tuesday. I'm gonna send it to you. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my god, I'm so honored. I cannot believe there's a song. I hope that I'm gonna send it to Kim Jong Un if I can. Right? I have a better friend than he does. So B16J0JC. So best thing about DPRK regime serious question. So, best thing about North Korean regime. I will let Sherry go first. What is the best thing about North Korean regime?
Best thing?
Yeah. There's such a thing.
I can think of anything. What's the best thing
Yeah.
about DPRK?
I mean, this is a
Regime.
the regime that built a killing machine, committing a genocide. So that question is very offensive, but it's okay. You have your freedom of speech, and it's my right to be offended, and it's okay to be offended. That's the thing. But you have the right to ask me the question. That's very paradoxical question too. I mean, how can the regime like Nazi Germany, Hitler regime that puts people in a concentration camp and torturing them and starving them on purpose can have any best thing about it?
Killing people.
I mean, this
the best things.
We wouldn't ask like, oh, what would be the best thing about Hitler's like Nazi Germany like concentration camp? I mean, this is okay. That's the thing, guys. You guys still ask so many offensive sometimes speech, but we are allowing it, and this is what tolerance is. And the fact that you ask me, I'm happy to engage in a more intellectual way. You cannot really think of one thing, right? Like, how do we say best thing? They came every time they come, they purge, and every new dictator comes, they purge. This is a third Kim, guys. Are you not sick of Kim's? I mean, only Kim family at this point. Who does that in this 21st century, staying in the throne for like almost 80 years? Anyway, so in the North Korean regime, best thing, I'm at a loss. I agree with you, Loop. So, Loop asks, do you have North Korean Barbie version door? That's a really interesting question. I mean, I have a son. I go to these toy stores with him. Do you know like those Barbie doors? I didn't have toys growing up. Did you have Barbie doors in North Korea?
Not Barbie doors, but different kinds of doors.
Oh, you said, but the North Korean door I saw is like very, like, I know this is the thing. I have to like, I'm trying to describe this word like chubby, but I'm not sure if that's like not sensitive word or something. So it's unbelievable in America. I'm just keep thinking being so. You can say being considerate, but also I'm censoring myself that I'm like, I don't want to make mistake. I don't want to offend somebody's feeling. But like North Korean doors are not those Barbies, like skinny, beautiful, more like chubby. Closed eyes are like very chubby and that kind of thing I stare. But they don't have Barbie doors for sure. But the thing is, we do make our own toys, which is we using a mud to build the tanks. We cut down the wood panel and make a gun.
We don't have actually like our own like very pretty skinny door, right?
I never even heard of what Lego would. Do you know what Legos are?
I know at the time I didn't.
Don't even know what blocks are.
Because I think it's a Western culture.
No, South Korea has this.
South Korea or banned in North Korea.
I mean, it's not like Western. It's like international. Everybody has toys, but the regime really deprive everything from you. So we don't even know what puzzles are. I went to South Korea and came to America. I was like, kids play with the puzzles. I was like, what the heck is puzzle? What the heck is a Lego? What the heck is Barbie? I'm like, I have no clue. It's like literally coming from a like different planet. So Andy, thank you so much. You're doing amazing work, truly the work of God. I hope you have a tremendous satisfaction. Know that. By the way, the volume is too low. It would be much better if you could have a microphone or somehow amplify the sound. Perfect. Maybe I will do this and you can let me know. Thank you so much. This is the thing about God question. I do want to talk more about it. Do you think, Sherry, it's an interesting question for you. Do you think that countries have a Christian as a faith? Did you feel like they are better people, like more like kinder people than the people who were like in the communists who had no God? Or what do you think? Like you mean like
better like people Christian
Or like, I mean, I don't know.
Brother.
I'm exposed to Christianity a lot, so.
For the first time when I learned about God, right? Church.
You
first
Bible,
time-
Bible, right?
Bible, and first time I felt like church songs and in the way they are praying, it's like remind me of North Korea worship the Kim regime. So at first time I didn't really like it, but after that I was think of my like I was thinking, this is the way better than North Korea
Yeah.
is doing, right? So like God, we just there's no human beings. We have to worship, right?
Yeah.
But in North Korea, it's a human beings that is God, and we have to worship and praise Him, right? So that's why, of course, it's a human beings are very like good, like nice, gentle, but on the other hand, you can be evil.
Right. I mean, we got both sides.
So that's why I think of course, like for me, it's a believing God is way, and then they are actually doing good things too.
Right. So when I was in China, I was contacted by these missionaries, and they were going to help me to escape to South Korea. And I remember the day I arrived in this shelter in China, in Qingdao. And they were like, oh, so this is how we pray. We sit on the ground and hold our hands like this, and you close your eyes, and we're going to pray together, right? It's like, I mean, honestly, in my head, like, what the heck is she talking about? What do you mean we pray? Because there's no word for pray that I knew. I didn't even know what prayer was in our script. We don't have a word for that. So what the heck is prayer? And it's like, this is how we pray. And after she prays, like, just say amen to it. I have no clue what she said, but okay, at the end, I'm going to say amen, right? And then she's like, now it's time for worship. We're going to sing this song together. And that was literally this song. Like, 당신은 사랑받기 위해 태어난 사람. And this, the first lyrics is literally translation. You are born to be loved. And I was, for the first time I heard that I was born to be loved. Because in North Korea, there's you are born to be serving the revolution and the party and the dear leader and then our socialist paradise. My being wasn't for me being loved. My being was for the revolutionary of this communist party. And I don't know, that's when I was like, this is the most beautiful thing that I've ever heard. And that you treat people with love, that was so unheard of for me. It was like, what do you mean? And then they were at the end, it's like, I love you. It's like, that's so awkward. Like, please don't tell me that. Like, a lot of North Koreans in the beginning take a while to use the word love. My sister, who's been in South Korea for 8 years, she still doesn't say that she loves me. She's like, oh, don't do that. It's so embarrassing, right? And I think that's the thing. Like, nobody's perfect. There were judgmental Christians for sure, but there were selfless ones too. And I think in the society that without God, it's a lot of anarchy, a lot of bitterness, a lot of lust. And I think reading Jordan Peterson, I think his book like last year, it really brought me to God. Not a God that's like dogmatic, you judge people, like if you don't believe certain things you go to like hell or like that, but the value, without virtue, it's anarchy. And freedom comes with those. You need to have a virtue, you need to have a value. And without God, it's hard to find those things in the modern world. And so thank you guys, and God bless you. So May again, Sakum MANNE. So what would you be the new name for North Korea after the abolition of the Kim dynasty regime and communist system? I mean, the case if the unification won't happen, in that case, both Koreas remain their own states. So, what do you want to name North Korea after the regime comes down? Did you think about it?
I never think about it, but like before the the one country what we named Joseon, and they divided. So I really hope that like country reunified the people that Joseon dynasty. So but I really don't like North Korea is using name Joseon actually.
Yeah. I mean, I like the name. So in North Korea, we don't say that we are like Korea, right? We say name Joseon is the morning glory. It's the
Morning
first
glory.
place where the sun comes out. That's how they brainwash us to become a nationalist. But I don't know. It is okay to love your country. That's the thing. It's a beautiful thing that you love your country. So I really hope that Americans do that too. Like, I love my country. I even love the name Joseon, guys. That's right. Like, I love the name Joseon. It warms my heart whenever I hear the name Joseon. And like, right, like when in my book I say I'm Joseon 사람, like I'm Joseon person. But in America, like so many people hate their country. And like I don't get it. You live in the best, most benevolent, more kind country. How can you hate this country? And despite all those flaws that you think of as a North Korea, we love our country. We just don't like the dictator. And my dream is going back to that land when the regime comes down and build it in the image of God, in the image of love, right? I mean, these people never heard that word love, and that's the thing. Every time when people say, "What would you tell them when you see North Koreans?" and I'll tell them I love you, and they might not understand what that means, but I want them to hear that love exists. So here, I think you gave both questions to me, so thank you, Sean. So you both are such an inspiration to me. The North Korean believe the leader created heaven and earth, and when Kim Jong Un died, what did they think? So did you hear about heaven or hell?
Did we?
No, I did not. They don't teach you any Christian those like terms to
heaven
you.
or hell.
Prayer, they don't teach you, or divine. None of those
We
things
don't have
exist.
actually words for 하나님 God.
Yeah, we don't even have the word for God.
And 천국.
No, like
hell
paradise.
Or, paradise.
No.
I mean, like
we don't
heaven.
have
We
hell.
don't.
So this is the thing, guys. Oh, this is every time we talk to North Koreans, like it's not like they don't understand English or something. Just they do not have the concept for you, so you cannot construct those thoughts. They do say though when Kim's die, it's almost like I know comparing to Christianity, similarly saying is like they are like 위대한 장로님 영원히 우리 함께 계신다. So Kim Il-sung 장로님, right? Like even they die, he's with us forever. And so they do kind of using Christianity brainwash us, right?
They do, but there's not words for it, like
Right,
heaven or hell. So
no.
we don't really have we have no idea.
But we do think they live forever. Though they tell us 영생탑, like the forever, eternal life, like towers everywhere.
Right.
And they say they live forever, like 영생하다. Right. So it is bizarre.
But only the king family
can live forever.
Can live forever.
So it's like Jesus Christ, right? His body dies, but his spirit somehow lives us, and we don't know the critical thinking in North Korea, so we don't know how that's possible. We don't question it. We just like they say, oh, they live eternally, or maybe they do. Like think about it. So many 영생탑, the eternal towers around the country. So many propaganda towers. And we just thought, okay, they are like living forever. How dumb is that? It is just, but yeah, what government is capable of, what humans capable of, is unbelievable to me. That what we were capable of living in North Korea and what they were capable of creating lies for us. I mean, like there are some kind of lies, but to the point the lies are so exceptionally unbelievable, right? They're like professional liars.
I think so.
They're really good at lying.
Like even when I like hear they are saying like it's so like embarrassing, like shameless.
Now I'm thinking about it. How on earth they had the zero shame and just lying such a thing? And I mean, of course, North Korea don't know what even lie is, so we believe it. So bad girl, right? She saw how do elites live in DPRK, in North Korea. So guys, here, it's your freedom to call DPRK or North Korea. It's that DPRK is the term that North Korea regime wants to use because they are very obsessed with controlling your language, right? And in freedom, I really don't care. Why I'm gonna tell you the difference between using North Korea and DPRK. Official name for North Korea is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So nothing is republic, nothing is democratic. So that's what they say when you say DPRK, you refer North Korea as a Democratic Republic, right? And North Korea is a Korea of the North. It's literally just like North Korea located on the northern part of Korea. So you're actually referring to more just like region. But when you do DPRK, it's in a way kind of acknowledging the official name and saying it's a democratic republic. I'm sure a lot of people don't even think about it. That North Korea tell the world that they are a democratic country. Anyway, so you had a good life. You said last time you ate fish every day. I'm like, I'm so really shocked. How do elites in North Korea live? Do they have cars?
Oh, my grandfather was president of Kim Il-sung's university. So
in Pyongyang. Oh my god, the Kim Il-sung University where Kim Jong Un went to study. Oh my god, so he's the best of the best university in North Korea. So he was a president?
Yes. But so he actually has a car and with a driver.
But the thing is here, you gotta be careful. You don't own the car.
Oh, no.
You cannot have a private property. So government lends the car to you, and then when you're done, you have to return the car back to the regime, right? So even your top elite.
Not only that, also driver.
Really?
Actually, human sensors. Human censorship. Like in here, if you have a car with a driver, right? Then it means like you have a he serves you, right? But in North Korea, it's a kind of different. Like he's actually watching you.
Oh, so they
It's
put the driver to watch a spy. It's
a human censorship. That's North Korea. So even though you are top elite, you don't have any freedom.
You got zero privacy.
Zero privacy.
Oh my god, yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like in North Korea, they do let the scientists, the hackers, and officials give them apartments in Pyongyang. But do you know what that means? You have to give it back. So this is exactly the animal farm that it talks about. If you work hard for our community and revolution, when you die, we are going to take care of you. That's what the regime says. And then when you spend all your life, that cow works to the death. When you die, the regime do not take care of you. They used you, and then you're discarded like a trash. So these top elites, even though when they do good work for the regime, they get the house and the car, but you have to return it. How about the though? There's of course no freedom for them, but is there any? Why do you think elites stay there? Why do they not escape?
That's a hard question, but sometimes there's many various. Sometimes you just you don't know what will happen once you escape from North Korea. So you have to you are elite in North Korea, but once you escape outside of from North Korea, then there's you don't know, not sure what's your life really ended up, right? So that's one thing I think. And then second one is it's like a family thing.
Yeah, they cannot take the 3 generations with them and they escape.
You have
it's dangerous.
Yeah, once if you want to find your own freedom, so you escape, then you have to put all your family members and relatives in danger. You have to risk,
But it's the thing again, guys. When elites escape, the family members do get affected. But when the commoners escape, usually your status is so low they don't even bother to punish you. So that's why when I escaped, I did not put my family in danger because we were so in the bottom. We already in the really downcast. But when the elites do escape, then they can put all of them in danger. And But to me is that though, this is about the thing about human nature. Sherry, if you were thinking, if you were not selected by the pleasure squad, and if you had a lot of food and money, but you didn't have freedom, do you think you would have escaped from North Korea or stay there?
Of course, that was the main reason I escaped.
For freedom.
For freedom.
So for me is that if I had a frozen potato, not even mention rice or fish, if I just had enough potato to eat, I would not have escaped. I didn't even know what freedom was, so how did I escape for freedom back then, right? I mean, in China, I did escape for freedom because then I heard what freedom was. But in North Korea, and this is the thing about it, it's so hard to say that I think few exceptional individuals like you can risk your life for freedom. But I think my need to be fed was a lot higher. So for me was, if I had enough food, I don't think I would ever escape. I would have stayed in the land, loved my friends and family in town, and had to live life there. So for me, it's like Kim Jong Un, if Kim Jong Un wants to maintain the regime, most of people want to be just taken care of. Why do they keep buying socialism? Even though it doesn't work, they promising you, the politicians, like the state gonna take care of you. We're gonna give you free education, free healthcare, we're gonna feed you, we're gonna do everything for you. And people like, okay, if I give up some of my freedom, you can do that for me. Okay, why don't you do that for me? And then government don't do that, right? They abuse you. So yeah, it's amazing how these elites are enslaved, but they do not make that their escape. Anyway, so Alan, so glad you're both doing well. It's Alan from London. If North Korea got liberated, how do you think people will react when they find out the truth about the world? That's just, wouldn't that be amazing if that happens? What do you think that North Koreans gonna think if they know the truth that how corrupt the dictatorship was, how they've been enslaved by this regime for generations, right? They are generations been enslaved by this regime. I don't know. Do you think? Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna even understand what that is in the beginning, at least, right?
Just my case, like I actually, my father influenced on me, like how to view outside the world, but still, like I had to be brainwashed in school, and once I escaped to China and I learned about outside of North Korea, and I just felt like it's so angry. Well, I think it's a waste of time. Like it's all about waste time learning like foolish things, right? You know,
propaganda,
like propaganda and. Yeah, so probably they will, think the same.
I know, like I ask every North Korean, right? The defectors, whoever I meet, especially not the younger ones as much, but the ones who live in North Korea at least like 30 years or even 25 years there. I ask them, what do you think about your life in North Korea? They say, I cannot believe that I wasted 20 years of my life. That I just began living here, and then that we talk about in South Korea, we have two different ages among the defector term, guys. It's so fun to hear these things. So in defector term, one age is your biology age, how old you are, like how long you've been born from your mother's womb. The second age is how long you've been free. So we said, oh, in freedom age, I am like 2. That means I just came to South Korea 2 years ago. In freedom age, I'm like 10 years. We're like, oh my God, you're so old. You must know everything, right? And the freedom age, when somebody says like, I'm 20 years old, they're like ancestors by then. We're like, we cannot imagine living in freedom for 20 years. So I remember when I got there, what's your freedom age? I'm like 3 months. And then like, you just born, right? You just born 3 months ago. And but even though when I got there though, for me to be deep brainwashed, it took, I had to read George Orwell. That was a final point for me to understand everything. But it took a while. It didn't take like one day. I heard like it's a dictatorship. I understand what dictatorship is. I don't like. Even now, I'm understanding the theory of Marxism, how they divide oppressed and oppressors. It's a continuing understanding of this evil. Anyway, so man, you are asking so many questions. M-A-N-N-E. So did Kim Il-sung originally plan to choose his successor from those who were not relatives? Who did he see that in the 1950s to 60s? Other communist countries like Soviet Union never had a heredity rules. Yeah, it's a family line rules. No, they wanted to be a king. They wanted to be a god. It had to be going to their line, their family line. North Korea, even though it began as a communist, right? There is no hierarchy. Everybody is equal. But they created 51 different classes, guys, among the same Koreans, depending on your birth status of your ancestors, what they did during the revolution. And I did hear that Kim Jong Un was the first choice because he was the first son. And usually in that like feudal system, usually the first sons get everything. So he was a natural choice, and Kim Jong Un also proved that he was the right fit. And thank you for your questions. So Sean, are you both in danger now? And how does it affect your lives? Have you informed? Like, did you? I mean, I get informed from the South Korean intelligence say that I'm on the list. Did you get that?
I'm not really like you are well known person, so but still once you speak out, right? Like not just like your life in like normal like life, right? If you specific topic about Kim regime and like politically criticize Kim Jong Un, then there's always in danger when you speak out, right, and reveal the dark side. So like that's the thing. Like my sister and my mom were worried about me about talking about So North Korea, as you know, like our relatives could be in danger as well.
Right.
That's why most North Korean defectors don't want to appeal in the media and in public. They don't speak out in public.
I mean, so I knew that I've been informed by many intelligence that I'm on the list, and there are many countries that I cannot go to. And like Malaysia for sure now, right, where they killed Kim Jong Un. I mean, at the airport with all the cameras watching, it was almost Kim Jong Un's way of warning all of us that if you go after me, this is what happened to you. Right? I don't care about international eyes. But not only that, like I mean, living in Chicago last year, seeing the looting, and I got robbed. I mean, being in Chicago is not that safe. I'm so sorry to say that, but my chances of getting killed by Kim Jong Un, unless I go to like China, Hong Kong, or like Mexico, a lot of countries that is easier to hire the hitman. But unless if I stick in America, my chance of getting killed is a lot lower by Kim Jong Un. That means most likely, at this point, I get so many hate messages from the lefts. Like, why do you praise like the country like America that was built upon the white supremacy and bigotry? So I do sometimes get scared, like if these people really gonna come after me. And I was at Dave Rubin's house in LA like over the weekend. I asked him like, are you not scared? Like you're where you live, everything's public information. These people in BLM, they share this information with them who are what they call as like, I'm a far right winger now, right? And yeah, I mean it's such an irony in Chicago, like seeing so much crime, so much shooting, and somehow people are okay with it. So you are a faker, Crabbers. Interesting. You claim that universities censoring college students was worse than living in North Korea, and you were caught faking and changing your stories multiple times. Thank you for your question. And this is the thing, guys. I don't get offended, and everything should be talked about. So I'm so grateful that you talked to me. You could be more civil about it, but it's okay. So first of all, claims university censoring college students was worse than living in North Korea. I was talking about especially the wokeism, guys. There's a difference between And I did say that, of course, in North Korea, the consequences of you speaking up in the classroom is going to concentration camp or executed. But in America, so far, you might get kicked out of class and then university. Where I said the worst part is North Korea even this crazy, which meant talking about 58 different pronouns. Sherry and I just made this video called where, do you just remember demigirl? So there's a new pronoun called a demigirl, which is women identify themselves partially women but not 100% women. So they have a pronoun called demigirl. So if this is not crazy, what is? I just asked Sherry too. I mean, in North Korean standard, this is insane, guys. What you guys are doing is like unbelievably crazy. I was talking to her. If somebody said that in North Korea that I am demigirl, don't call me a woman, you are gonna ending up in a mental clinic. And I'm not suggesting that. So we are tolerant country that whatever they identify self, who cares, right? Like it's their freedom. I mean, that's their personal choice. All I'm saying is, when you do not understand demigirl and then they tell you how ignorant you are, how bad you are, that's when I say, no, this is worse than North Korea. And the fact that you do not understand the entire context and nuance and trying to catch me on that, that shows your depth, because you're not here to understand what I said. You're here to actually just saying I'm a faker like everybody does. And another one, you're caught faking and changing your stories multiple times. I said this again before. So in Korean dictionary, if you type pur, which means plants, it comes as grass to English dictionary. Do you know the difference between grass and plants?
Grass is the plants is the how can I say? Grass is on the ground. I don't
plants
know.
is on the ground. So
Oh,
we
it's
don't.
a-
So these are the exactly, guys. So when I was giving an interviews in the beginning, what did you eat when you're hungry? It's like I ate grass, I ate grasshoppers, I ate dragonflies. But do you know grass means 잔디.
Right. Oh, 잔디.
But plants means still on the ground, but pur, like you know those like 양고비, like you know those like eat. So I said that I ate grass, but I never ate grass, guys. I ate plants. So because English was my third language, I mean, how the heck do I know the nuance difference between grass and plants when you translate it into, dictionary? Another one was, I said I climbed 3 mountains before I crossed the river. But do you know the difference between hill and mountain?
Hill mountain.
There's a hill and there's a mountain.
So mountain is a general thing, and hill is the top you have to.
No.
No, that's why.
Exactly. They told me, they enlightened me. There's a difference between hill and mountain. I hope you all know this, guys. Unless you're a liar if you don't know the difference. So they said depending on the altitude of the upness. If it's like above a certain altitude, it's mountain. Below altitude is a hill. High hill. Yeah.
Okay.
So these people went to Google Maps and then found where I escaped. They checked the Google Maps, Google Earth, and then checked the altitude. Depending on their research, it's not technically mountain. It's a very steep hill. So that's why I lied. And another thing is, I did lie. That is where we talked about it. I went to South Korea, guys. I did not come to America when I escaped. And I was raped in China. I was sold as a sex slave from 13 to 15. I was a child. In South Korea, as a teenage girl, I wanted to have family. As you can see, I had my son at 22. I was at 23 actually. By then I turned 23. All I wanted to be when I was born, since I was a girl, I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to have a family. In South Korea, saying that you're a sex slave for 2 years when you're a child, no sane man gonna marry me. North Korean women hide their trafficking history because of that. So I had to hide that when I was in China, I was never trafficked. My parents protected me. I did lie, but in my book, I did say everything that was true. And after my book that came out in 2015 and September, not even one single people accuse the book, because I'm gonna sue them now if they do it. Penguin team, that my publisher went with me, the legal team got the voice recording of the people that grew up with me, escaped with me, crossed the desert with me. They got the voice recordings with them right now. So this is the accusation of me is saying that here is like mountain, grass to plants. And they say, oh, one time you said you watched Bollywood movie, and then one time you watched a Hollywood movie. I watched both. In North Korea, India movies are very popular because also Chinese movies are very popular because they think watching Hollywood and South Korean movies are very political act, and watching Soviet Union, India movies more less punishment. So North Korean people, did you watch a Bollywood movie? It's like Indian movie. Bollywood is like India. Did you watch a lot of movie made in India?
Some of them.
Right. So North Koreans, most of us, if we are okay, all watched Indian movies. And I started, and one group I was like, oh, I watch a lot of Bollywood movies, and some group I watched the Hollywood movies, but which meant I did not change what I watched. I just watched both, but one time I just like said Bollywood, one time I said Hollywood. So that is the story of inconsistency. I hope that cleared it. And it was interesting when I was reading Tucker Carlson's book last night, like a long slide to freedom, and how the Simon and Schuster was canceling Josh Hawley because he supported tyranny in America, right? But even though on the day he tweeted that he does not support the violence, that we are thankful for these police officers who's defending the Capitol, even though he said that the Simon and Schuster saying you were supporting tyranny, therefore we are canceling your book. This is unbelievable, guys. And why you are obsessed knowing why I lied because I did not know the difference between plants and grass, while there's a dictator enslaving 25 million lives. There are dictators in China, the CCP, committing genocide. And while our freedom in this country eroding, that's why you are paying attention to. It's a shame on you. I'm so sorry to say that, but really, get a life. Anyway, Sean, so first of all, you both are my heroes. My question is, with America and its attitudes adopting more and more communist policies, are you nervous about our future, and what can we do to prevent it? Thank you so much, Sean. Yeah, I'm going to answer 2 more questions, but this is another one. So, Sherry, do you know there's a lot of American students? They say communism is great, socialism great, the capitalism is so bad. And you lived in the socialism. Now we are living in capitalism. Which one do you like better, capitalism or socialism?
That's a funny question. I mean, that's silly question. Like, of course, why would I put my life at risk to come to this country? You know,
if the capitalism was bad.
Yeah, if my country is the best, why would I, escape from North Korea? It was journey was terrible. I mean, arduous journey I had been through, and also not only American students, but also since I opened my YouTube channel, there were so many attackers. They are just. I was just, oh my gosh, this country, you don't have any idea how much privilege you got, right?
Yeah.
And they just they praised about socialism, and then they have sympathized about the regime. So I really don't get it. How do you think this evil regime is the best?
But the thing is, nobody's trying to escape from America.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really
That's
think
the fact.
socialism great, go to North Korea. It's a socialist paradise, guys. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody putting a gun shooting you when you escape from America. You don't even have to escape. American government giving you a passport for free. So get a passport and go to China and swim to North Korean border.
And not only that, if Westerner want to go to South Korea, North Korean regime welcome you.
Yeah. Exactly. They are not gonna kill you. Just go to North Korea and have a wonderful life.
And then you
there.
become propaganda.
Propaganda.
Yeah,
they're gonna say how the America betrayed the capitalism because capitalism is so horrible now. How they're happy being in socialism. But are you worried? Do you think that America might become socialist someday? With this
I'm
trend
very
that we
worried.
have?
I'm very worried because they don't really have
They
no
got zero
idea.
clue. They got zero clue.
No clue.
They don't even know what oppression looks like. Do you know how American students in university, how they're oppressed? And then what do you tell them? I mean, they don't even know what oppression looks like. That's why I think they are saying something so nonsensical. And anyway, so this is the thing. We are in the battle with I hope that we win, guys. Really, we really have to. We cannot be just thinking this ideology, this toxic, poisonous thing gonna go away. You have to fight back. And this thing is what frustrates me with me. I'm a classical liberal. I don't care as long as they don't harm me. Let them be. Like if they think they are demigirl, they think they are gender fluid, who cares? It's their freedom. As long as they don't force it on me. And I support limited government. I support free market. And my attitude before until last year was like, oh, just leave me alone, right? Like that's the thing. I'm not gonna fight with you. Just be who you are, whatever you want. You have your freedom of speech. If you wanna be a socialist, be a socialist. But these people not demanding me to conform, to do their way and speak the language they speak, think the way they think. This is what's so evil about community. They do not tolerate diversity of thoughts. They do not tolerate a speech that is different than themselves. So now we cannot be just sitting here. Oh, as long as they don't bother us, I'm not gonna do anything. We need to fight back. So guys, oh my god, that was a very passionate an hour our live. Thank you so much for joining for all this time and asking all those wonderful questions. Even though I got, I was very excited when people ask me I'm a faker. I still encourage you to keep asking those questions. The point is the fact that we have freedom of speech, that everybody can speak and they have a right to be offensive. So I appreciate that you guys come and hear what I have to say and asking those questions. And thank you for supporting the people of North Korea, and thank you for supporting Sherry. Please, Sherry has a YouTube channel again, guys. Go follow her on her channel and on her Instagram. And I know that a lot of you, I think, have seen her video before, that her mother is struggling with breast cancer. So that fundraiser is still going on. So I hope you join it. And please leave us the questions below after this live, the things that you are curious about. We might come back to do another live or making videos for you. So grateful. Thank you for my Patreons. If you want to see me and talk to me like one-on-one, join my Patreon, and I look forward to seeing you guys all there. Love you. Have a wonderful Thursday, everyone. And last question was, what was that? Malala, some people won't believe you even if you came back from the dead in front of them after 20 years dead. These clowns give me headaches. Thank you. Exactly, the idioticness of some humanity is very depressing, but there are so many great humans too, and that's the thing. It's that's a complexity of life. But let's fight with our truth, and let's do everything that we can to conserve this amazing freedom we have. So love you guys.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye.